just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, so I'll come running just to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, fall, all you gotta do is call, yes, and I'll be there, yes I will. Now ain't it good to know that you got a friend, when people can be so, so cold. They'll hurt you and they'll desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them, no, no. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, so I'll come running just to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, fall, all you gotta do is call, yes, and I'll be there, yes I will, and I'll be there, yes I will, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. Good morning, everybody.
That's Mr. Jason Goldstein, everybody. Let's give him some love.
Good morning.
In the Love Shack. Welcome if you're joining us here in the house or joining us online for the Love Stream. My name is Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow. I'm the senior minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills. We're coming to you live from the North San Fernando Valley. We are a faith community that welcomes all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. And so if you're here local, hope we see you sometime in the room. And if you're not, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And we got a lot of stuff going on here in the holiday season, and a lot of it will be live streamed. So welcome everybody in the house. Woohoo! Welcome everybody in the house. I mean, this is for them. That's not for me, it's for them. All right. And so if you're on the chat, make sure you give Jason some love on the chat, because his wife tells me he scans it afterwards to make sure.
It's true.
Yeah.
For the whole week.
All right. And our presider today is the wonderful Andrea Recht. Let's get her up here. And today is Parade Sunday. So if you're sitting at home, we put chairs out in the front if you want to come in and check out the parade. That gets underway around 1:30, and there's also a potluck, so grab some chicken and come on over. All right. So let's start in-house here. If we'll batten down the hatches in the back, bring the lights down, take a deep breath as we release, let go, allow ourselves to surrender to this eternal now moment as we come together for a call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. Now, fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. As Andrea lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, for the space we hold for them here in the sanctuary, within our online community, and of course within our own hearts. And as Andrea lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. Light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own soul. There is one flame, one light within.
Oh, how very, very grateful I am for the opportunity in this moment to just breathe. And with that breath, allow for the recognition of Spirit as all creation. Just in this moment, in the eternal nowness of this moment, I allow myself to be aware that God is, and God is all there is. One power, one presence, one infinite intelligence that is fulfilling itself as me, as each individual here, as everyone online, and as everyone and everything everywhere. God only God. How grateful I am in this moment to know this absolute truth and to come back to this truth over and over and over again. I know that this very service is in fact a divine idea in the mind of infinite intelligence. And because I know this, I am certain that it unfolds in perfect order. That as we bless Reverend Mike, he allows for infinite intelligence to be his guiding light as he presents this morning's sermon. Grateful for Jason and the tech boys Ian and Mike Carlin. Grateful for everyone here. Grateful for everything, everywhere, all the time. So much gratitude. So I am certain that each of us is shifted and lifted into a new way of understanding by means of this service. I know it is good and very good. And so I can now release this word with faith and confidence that it is done. It is so. And we affirm this together by saying, and so it is. Good morning. It's lovely to see you all here. I'm happy to be here. Wasn't expecting to be here, but I got the call and I said yes. I love this time of year. I love the lights. I love the smells. I love cooking and baking and the trees and the decorations. And I notice at this time of year that the energy kind of speeds up. There's a liveliness to the days. And with that, sometimes comes more crowds, more traffic, more people shopping, more gatherings, more things to kind of finish up as the end of the year approaches. And sometimes that becomes challenging for me to navigate. Although I have to say, Thanksgiving I did a lot of cooking and a lot of preparing and getting the house ready and setting up tables and decorating. And it was really fun because I put on music and I danced with my grandkids. And I realized that I have a choice as to how I want to navigate the traffic and the crowded stores and the long lines. That I can either be swept up into the rush of it and the strain and stress possibly of it, or I can remember to come back to center. Holmes reminds us that life is lived from the inside out. So I can decide not to allow external conditions to determine my peace of mind. That even though the traffic is a little heavier, and even though the lines are a little bit longer and the crowds are a little bit thicker, I can choose to be at peace and have fun with it and just enjoy it. The consciousness that I bring to each moment determines my peace. I'm in charge of that. I'm in control of that. There have been times at the holidays where I felt, and this hasn't been the case for a while, but there have been those times where I felt so overwhelmed. And there was a time in my life when I had a really bad case of not enoughness. I never felt like I was good enough, and I didn't feel loved enough. And if I acknowledged that you loved me, you didn't love me quite enough. And then the gifts were never enough. I was never giving enough. And I always thought, I didn't get enough to give enough. And then I sometimes felt like I didn't get enough. I remember one year the kids' stockings were overflowing with stocking stuffers. And my poor little stocking was empty. And I remember pointing it out to the kids. I don't care about that stuff anymore. I just don't care about it anymore. It cannot determine my peace of mind. My peace of mind is under my jurisdiction. It's under my control. So I can pause and take a breath and be in the present moment and step into the awareness. Eckhart Tolle says, the primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but my thoughts about the situation. And Science of Mind reminds us that we live in a spiritual universe governed by law. It's my thoughts that shape my experience. So I'm going to have a good holiday, and I know you are too. Thank you.
The things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. Mistakes that I have made, nor any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. Well, I am light. No, I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the inside. I am not the age, my race, my soul inside. I am light. I am light. I am divinity defined. I am God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Jason Goldstein, the best. I love that line. I am divinity defined. I am God on the inside. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have some announcements for today. Practitioners are available in the treatment room for a 2-minute tune-up. If you're a licensed practitioner, please raise your hand and you can also find a practitioner online at CSLGH.org. And today, after second service, we're having a potluck. We're going to decorate this tree behind me. We're going to put together giving baskets for the unhoused, and at 1:30 is the Granada Hills Christmas parade. And in between all that, we're going to eat, because there's going to be a lot of food here. So please join us for all of that. Also, there's a lot of other activities that are planned for the month, so you can grab a holiday schedule in the lobby after service. December 10th, next Wednesday, Taizé meditation service will happen here at 7 o'clock. It's a peaceful evening celebrating the winter solstice and the space that it gives us for reflection and gratitude. Sunday, December 21st, we're only having one service. That will be our Christmas service at 10:30. The choir will be singing. So please, by the way, if you're interested and you like to sing, we still have 2 rehearsals. We're singing a couple of fairly easy songs. If you want to join us, our next rehearsal is on Tuesday, the 16th at 11 a.m. and then the Saturday before the 20th at 11 o'clock also, right? Yeah. You can see Mary Ann if you want more information about that. We'd love for everybody to post their glowing reviews about the center on Yelp and Google so others can find us. It would also be great if you could upload your own community photos. We're hoping this will help promote more local people to join us, and thank you for doing that. The stocking stuffers are now here. The perfect stocking stuffer is a raffle ticket for the Lake Tahoe drawing. And we're going to see a little video from last year's winners on the raffle, the place in Lake Tahoe. So here you go.
Hi, Kathy and Wayne here. We're the lucky couple that won last year's raffle for the giveaway up at Lake Tahoe and at the lodge. We had a great time. We spent a week in November. It actually snowed the second day we were there. We went hiking, saw a great big black bear. We went to church in Truckee. They have a center for spiritual living up there. It was just a wonderful week.
And the accommodations were wonderful, and just enjoyed ourselves very, very much. Oh, yes, and yes, we did. Yes, of course, the casino's up there.
They gambled and donated to the casinos. So I have tickets for sale. I think several of us have tickets for sale. The tickets are $10 per, or 3 for $25. So it makes a great stocking stuffer. Chloe, you want to bring up the gratitude box? And pull one of those out of there and see what somebody is grateful for.
Maybe a big one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a lot. You want to read it?
It says, I am grateful for
Authenticity.
authenticity having at the CSL Granada Hills.
Great. Grateful for the authenticity that's here, right? Thank you, Chloe. Okay, let's do our declaration of principles. So if you would join me in standing up if you can, or if you feel like it. And this is what we believe. We believe in one universal spirit manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon a law of mind which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and in the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and shine, yes, I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, yes, you shine so bright. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, yes, we shine. Yes, we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, yes, we shine, and we shine so bright.
I'm all warmed up now. So Jason Goldstein, let's give him some more love, shall we?
Thank you, guys.
And it's December, new month, new theme, new talk title, new animal. Or at least the remnants of one, because the theme for this month is shedding our skin. God, I feel like there's someone creeping up behind me here. Shedding our skin, today we're surrendering into newness, surrendering into newness. So, and this has been prepared by our friend up north at the Oakland Center. So, Reverend Sunshine Michelle Coleman, quite a brilliant gal, worked with her on a lot of different stuff. And, actual PhD and the whole bit. So, and she writes about this month that as we move through life, we often settle into our ordinary skin, moving through the day to day with comfort and familiarity. But like a snake shedding its skin, we too are called to outgrow our old ways as we evolve. And while a snake sheds its skin, say that 3 times fast, snake sheds its skin in one seamless piece, humans shed in fragments, gradual and sometimes unnoticed, yet both signify growth. As we stretch and expand, our old skin becomes tight and uncomfortable, preparing us for transportation. The question is, are we willing to let go of the old, surrender to the process, and embrace the wisdom that awaits in the new? Or do we resist change, clinging to the familiar and causing unnecessary pain? So as we stretch and expand, our old skin becomes tight and uncomfortable, except around the neck, apparently. So anyway, do we resist the change, clinging to the familiar, causing unnecessary pain? So this idea of surrendering to newness, shedding the skin in whole or in fragments, or another way to say it is exfoliate your way from good to great in this way. So, and if you're laughing at that, that's a sign that you're watching way too much football. That's an Old Spice commercial for those of you who don't know. So, seems kind of funny to be talking about shedding skin when we're this time of year, we're putting more of our clothes on. But hey, it's California, so our winter here is like May in Ohio, so count your blessings. Yeah, so that's for my bonus mom out in Avon, Ohio. So, and in Lake Tahoe, it looks like this. So just enticing you to not only buy a ticket, but take a book of tickets. You know, there's 10 to a pack and sell them for us. It helps to cover the cost of the main, does anyone here have a timeshare? Aren't those annual fees awesome? So we get to pay for the timeshare every year, and so this helps cover that and gives us a wonderful opportunity to explore Lake Tahoe, which if you've never been is a magical, really a magical place. So this could be you, or if you sell a ticket to someone you know, it could still be you if you can talk them into taking you along. So, and if you go in March, it might look like this. So this is up on Heavenly Valley, which is the local ski area in the South Shore there. A Powder Bowl run and Maggie's, those are fun runs. I've been up there, so it's been a while, but I've been up there. So, but surrendering back then, well, if you go up there, you might see these guys skiing around. These are Nordic Santas. Yeah, they're kind of cute, huh? All right. So circling back to surrendering to newness. A snake sheds its skin, revealing a brand new layer of skin below. So I went looking about how does a snake shed its skin? Of course, I'd have to look that up. So maybe you already knew this, but so they, there's a fluid layer that comes in between the old skin and the new skin that helps, so they start, feeling a little randy or whatever. But what they do is they start scratching their nose against something. So it made me think about my own nose job that I've had done this last month. But anyway, they peel the whole skin out and work their way out, which I tried to get an image of that from ChatGPT, and they said, yeah, we don't do that. So anyway, so a snake sheds its skin, and if you've seen a snake with a new skin, it's shiny, it's like it's been buffed, like it's been to the detail shop. So, but the point of this is that they release this old layer that's kind of dull, gray, and underneath it is newness, revealing newness. Newness as the natural unfolding of spirit. Spirit as the creative impulse of life. And sometimes it can feel as if we are frozen in a moment. And in that frozenness, in that stuckness, we think it's always going to be this way. And when we catch ourselves thinking in this way, it's good to remember that nothing in life has stayed the same. If you think on this a little bit, nothing in life has stayed the same. Our careers change, right? We start a job, we change jobs, we retire from a job. Relationships change. Even those long-time friendships evolve and change over time. Long-time marriages certainly have ebb and flow with them. And from that idea from Gibran that in order to grow together, there must be enough room to grow separately, right? To be able to explore your own individuality within the relationship. And in a good relationship, there's a lot of support to do that eventually. Once you get around to doing the work. All right. So when we consider, I always ask married people and say, well, it just takes a lot of work. And I go, yeah, but what work? What exactly does it take? Well, then, you get married again and, you get 7 or 8 years into it. And you go, oh, that work. It's all about working on me again. So when we consider life for a moment, it's clear that change is built into the mix. And if this is so, it must be a life principle. So in this way, then, newness is not something God occasionally offers us. Newness is the very nature of life, right? The Creator co-creating continuously in that cycle of birth and rebirth. So this is a great time of year to use the gentle nudge that nature is affording us as we become more aware of the days that are shortening, the nights getting longer, the air crisp, and it's invigorating in that crispness. There is an air of expectation to the season that goes beyond gift giving and the hustle and bustle of friends and family. Well, it takes a while to get there. I remember the holidays. I used to get really knotted up over the holidays and trying to find the perfect gift. I have a bunch of siblings, and part of that got worked out because they all moved away. Oh, look at the date! But in time, you kind of find your peace with it. And as much as it sounds like cliche, that it really isn't about the gift of presence, but rather the gift of presence. Right? Just being with each other, and being with each other in a space of harmony and open-heartedness. And it's important to know that when it comes to stuff like this, that we don't have to force it. We don't have to make anything happen. We simply have to clear the way, right? So we talk about in religious science about how we're always at choice, right? So we're choosing to stay open at the top, stay open-minded, but we're also choosing to stay open at the heart. But we do sometimes need to do that in a conscious way. And in time, we see that when we surrender fear, faith arises. When we surrender any resentment or dark thought, the dark thoughts that accompany it, the light of peace arises. This is part of the imagery of the season in the Christian tradition, that the light points the way, the wandering star that the Magi followed, right? That the seekers followed, settles over the promise of a new way of being in the world. So when we surrender the past, a new self emerges. We cannot grow and evolve without the surrender. We shed the skin of old thinking that up until now has held us bound. The newness within, with its light and vitality, breaking through the old membrane that may have once defined us, may have been part of our identity, and at the same time kept us bound to old ways of thinking. Old, I would even say old comfortable ways of thinking and being. So Richard Rohr, the Franciscan priest and monk, wrote, All great spirituality is about letting go. It trains us in both detachment and attachment. Detachment from the passing, so we can attach to the substantial. We are invited to detach from what is passing, so that we can attach to what is real, large R real, right? To what is true, capital T true. What is God? As you understand God to be, the creative impulse of life, the creative impulse of love, if you will. So one of the great teachings of the science of mind is this: you cannot receive something new while clinging to something old. The mind must become available, open, receptive. And this is part of the practice, is continue to work in cultivating our awareness, so an awareness of what's going on within us, a self-awareness of how we are interacting with the world and how the world is interacting with us, with as much truth as we can muster. So in the Byron Katie thing, can we know it's true? Can we absolutely know it's true? Right? So because otherwise the mind fills in the gaps with all kinds of stories that are often false. And this is not helpful. Right? Because what we're shooting for is to live our most authentic life, authentic, so that the indwelling power within us, the individualized expression of the Most High, of which you are, which I am, can come forth with all the courage that we can muster to allow that to shine. Because it's the soft way of being in the world, you know. In many ways, it's easier to be hard. You know, I think we're seeing that today. And all it takes seems to take is one or two people speaking in harsh ways, and then we're all ready to chime in. You know? And before we know it, the world becomes a dark and inhospitable place. And as the Dalai Lama would say, this is not helpful. So, the way out of the dilemma then. Ernest Holmes gives us a powerful description when he writes that releasing the weight of past limiting beliefs and judgments frees us up in faith, which is mental assertion elevated to the plane of realization, right? So we have an awareness, we're open to some sense of intuitive guidance, and then we have the courage and the power then to take action, right? To allow that to be a new truth for ourselves. So in the teaching of science of mind, what is it that we demonstrate? Those ideas which we are embody, which means we become that. We become realized with that idea. Now, faith in the science of mind is not wishful thinking. It's mental conviction. Mental conviction so clear, so aligned with truth, that it rises into realization. It becomes experience. But to rise into realization, we must release the weight, right? So if we use the imagery of, to rise, right? If you think about a hot air balloon, how do you arise in a hot air balloon? You drop ballast, right? So we offload that old thinking that no longer serves us so that we can arise. I love that picture. But to rise into realization, we must release the weight. The weight of what we thought, we were, the weight of how we thought life had to be, including the weight of how we think the holidays have to be, and the way we think we have to be in the holidays, and how, even more importantly, perhaps the way everybody else has to be in the holidays. So for some, it may be the weight of the ghost of Christmas past, old resentments, old judgments that we hold against others, or even ourselves. Perhaps that's even more damaging, old resentments and judgments we hold against ourselves. Now, why would this be? Because if we're turning that kind of energy on ourselves, what out pictures into the world, right? For others, this time of year, that heaviness may be the loss of a love, or of a life we thought was solid until it wasn't. And to the heart, of course, this is all real stuff. So we're not pretending or wishing anything away, especially feelings of grief or loss. For as the ancients remind us, to everything there is a season. Grief and loss, this is a different kind of surrender, particularly around this time of year. And still, we are surrendering it to the same place. We are surrendering the power we think a condition has over us. Right? We're surrendering the power we think a resentment has over us. We're surrendering the power we think grief has over us. We're surrendering the power that we think anything has over us. That power, greater than we are alone, God as we understand it to be, that we are surrendering to that which makes all things new again, and makes things new again, and makes things new again. Right? A cycle of creation, of birth, rebirth. Newness, the newness that we can be certain lies on the other side of any challenge. And in this way, then, surrender is not a punishment. Release is not a punishment. It's spiritual physics. It's the law of mind in action. It is our choice point. It is the way the mind makes room for God. So one last little bit about surrender. Sometimes, I know this was true for me for many years, sometimes when we hear that word surrender, we think, oh no, that means giving up. But surrender in a spiritual sense is not giving up. It's giving over. Giving over our fears. Giving over our tight grip. Giving over our burdens. Giving over our need to control every single detail. All that stuff is driven by fear anyway. But fear has never paid one bill. Fear will never bring love into our life. Fear will not attract opportunities for success. Now, fear may be a driver, for sure. A lot of people have had a lot of success being driven by 1,000 forms of fear. But our most effective choices and decisions are made from vibrations of faith. And this is where our authentic life lives. So again, we learn to let go and let God. So as you learn to release all your burdens to the right action, that too, let's see, I guess I forgot that one. Let me see, did I? Oh, there we go. So as we learn to release all our burdens to the right action of God, you will find that everything falls into its proper place. You get a few miles on you in this thing called life, and you will really see the truth of that, right? So that we can, fight and, try to wrestle the steer, or we can relax and let it go and know there is no steer. It's just our thinking that we're struggling with. So, as you learn to release all our burdens to the right action of spirit, we find that everything falls into place. So have you ever experienced that? So a moment when you finally set something down, something that you've been wrestling with, and suddenly clarity, ease, and order return, right? There have been times in my own life when I held so tightly to a certain outcome, trying to control it, push it, shape it, and it felt like walking through mud. And then finally, in a moment of exhaustion, maybe grace, I finally let go and surrendered to a higher wisdom. And what I thought was falling apart came together in a better, more harmonious way. This is not accidental. This is law. So let's get Jason up here and take a breath. Spirit knows how to arrange our lives when we create space for it to act, when we create space for the law of circulation to move in, through, and as us. Holmes writes that we have to loose our hardened heart if we wish to find love. We have to let go of everything that is unkind if we wish to discover kindness. We even have to surrender fear if we wish to discover faith. We cannot hold two opposing vibrations at once. We cannot cling to fear while expecting to feel faith. We cannot cling to resentment and expect to find peace. Spiritual evolution is a process of subtraction, not addition. The more we release, the more the truth of who we are shines through. And who we are at the core of our being is a divine expression of the creative impulse of life. And so is everyone else. And so as we go about through the rest of this day, let us think on these last few moments, whether through the music, through the presider, through the message, through the people. See what we can glean from this day to take into our work week, and see what changes, and come back next week and we'll see how we did.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by the choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe, how to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies is on a sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I am offering the simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Yes, they know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering a simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
All right. So we'll take a moment to, if you come prepared, come on up with the basket there, Chloe. If you come prepared with an offering this morning, make your way to the basket. For those of you joining us online, if you could take a moment to get to the donate button. Thank you, Chloe. So we'll sing you through it.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through you, Spirit receives through you, Spirit lives and breathes through you. Spirit lives and breathes through you. Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us.
So going within for just a moment longer, as we recognize this basket represents both the heart of the individual and the generous heart of the individual and the receptive heart of this spiritual community. The generous heart of the individual who knows and knows that they know that God is our source, our substance, our supply. And so by whatever avenue your generosity finds its way to the center, through the offering here this morning, through online giving, through the mail, that as spiritual community we receive all of it with deep love, gratitude, and respect, as we know together these gifts go forth to heal, to prosper, to bless, not only the vision and mission of this center, but anyone connected to it in any way. And from this place of gratitude, this communal sense of gratitude, we extend a blessing upon our community of Granada Hills and its beautiful parade day, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, that we know in some wonderfully crazy cosmic way that the creative impulse of life itself is impressing itself in, through, and as our own life in ways that are easily identifiable, in ways great and small. This lifts our hearts to feel a sense of grace and power that propel us into ways of spiritual living that allow us to press into life, creating and living creating a world of spiritual living for ourselves and for others. And for this, we are truly grateful. Together, we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. And so I want to get you up here so you can share your beautiful creation here. So make sure you're introduced. Yeah.
Hi, we were just decorating the children's room, the junior church, for the holidays, and Anish did this, which is beautiful. And then we made these, and we put affirmations on them, like God's love is unconditional, and we're decorating with this. And there's bags out there for you. I just wanted to say, if you pick a bag to give to the homeless, it's best to say, may I give this to you? And also, if you want to add things to the bags before you give them out, please feel free to do so. Okay?
Thank you. And do we have enough supplies out there for the bags?
We need more. We only have a few bags.
Okay.
So we need more supplies.
Okay.
Okay. I bought a bunch of socks today and a bunch of, you just go to Amazon. It's easy.
Sanitizer?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Like the little ones. All right. And I also heard through a little reindeer that it's somebody's birthday today. So let's sing happy birthday to Reverend Susie Andrews. 40 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Susie. Happy birthday to you. All right. Okay, so that'll do it for us. Let's give some love to Jason Goldstein one more time. And we'll get Andre up here to pray us out. Thank you all for being here today. Get some Tahoe tickets. Either take a pack to sell at the office or, in fact, just do that.
So once again, I have this opportunity in this consciousness of joy and love to recognize that there's one power, one presence, and one life, that it is expressing as each one of us. How grateful I am that by means of this service, we have been shifted and lifted into a new way of being, a new way of allowing that which no longer serves us to be shed, to let it go, to allow for it to fall away. So I bless each of us as we travel to our next destination, knowing that we do so in safety, blessing everyone involved in the parade, blessing the hands that prepared the food that we're about to eat, any animals that may have sacrificed their lives for our benefit, blessing all of it, declaring and naming it all good and very good because it is all God. And in this consciousness, I lovingly release this word to that aspect of law, that aspect of God known as law, which always says yes. So I know this prayer is done. I let it be so. And in agreement, we simply affirm this by saying together, and so it is. Amen. Please join us in the peace song.
peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as the power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in